issues online. That's the good thing about streaming.
Like Sexy Red was mad at me. I apologized to her on the national news just because we did sleep on the plane for like 7 hours. I was in 1C, she was in 1D, and I like literally like over like sold it just like I did with Amber. But again, we
nah, bro, we
not as close.
You did with who?
No, so I said me and Sexy Red slept together, but we were just on a plane. I was in 1C, she was in 1D.
All right. What's up, people? We on Diddy ass today. Guess who's coming home? Guess who's been cleared of all RICO charges? Guess who's been cleared of all sexual assault charges? Guess who's been cleared? Your boy is about to have him a real good welcome home party.
You like
I'm gonna be honest.
Yeah. In reality, I was trying to make Suki mad because I know Suki and her friends, so I was being petty, but it backfired in the wrong way.
You fuck Suki too?
I love Suki.
Oh yeah, he definitely did that.
I said I love Suki.
Nah, you did.
Did you fuck Suki though?
Yeah, you definitely.
Yo, hold on. Yo, Ray.
Suki, my twin.
No, Ray. We gotta start finding out. Like when Cam asked that nigga with Cassie, how was the pussy? Like we want to know this shit. I ain't gonna lie. Is it what is advertised to be, or this is cap?
Yo, it's the greatest ever, bro.
What? Oh nah,
bro. It's the greatest ever.
Suki got that shit,
bro. The cleanest string in or out.
Oh,
hey, bro, hey, bro, I get it because this morning you can ask R&B. She had my head on the headboard sideways, like by my ear.
Yeah, I feel that, right? That's how I feel sometimes, right? Yo, the cleanest string in or out. Bro.
Hey, yo, hold on. We gotta figure out. Yo, Ray J. I don't know if you heard.
Second, hold on.
I was trying to see Ray J trying to still say free Diddy. Yo,
I got this Jamaican nigga on my three-way right now, bro. I don't know what's up with this nigga. The nigga keep acting like he want to fade.
Ray J trying to take the game over.
Who that?
You know what I'm saying?
Sound like whack.
Jamaican nigga act. Listen, I'm telling you.
Sound like
you can't
whack.
fuck with me, bro.
Sound like whack. Kind of upset.
You know, he got some popping ass music. He got a video out with all the females is bouncing out. I'm gonna let him holler at you, bro. Go ahead, man. Act. Go ahead, talk to your man.
We ran a promotion cutting the price of Mint Unlimited in half, and it was so popular, we're doing it again. It's like a sequel that's actually as good as the original. Maybe better. Definitely not worse.
Let's get back to that beautiful being footage, shall we? Nobody want to hear that shit.
Medea, man. Isn't it? Yo.
Atlanta something star.
Yeah, man. Me go line something up, isn't it? Yo, Medea. So like, whenever tomorrow we can,
Tomorrow, it gotta happen tomorrow. If it don't happen tomorrow, I'm letting the cop on you, Act.
Yo, I'm giving away $100,000 on my Twitch.
Hey, yo,
100,000 a day at 11 o'clock. I need your support for 10 days. I got a new sponsor. They want to do it with me, and I can't argue with them.
Well, Ray J, I'm showing up to get the 100,000. I'm gonna be there.
That's easy. Act. Tomorrow it needs to happen.
Yo.
You stay at the studio a little later.
Yo.
We got Angela.
Yo, send me the text. I don't want to say the time on here that people could try me.
Send it to you right now.
Yeah, send it to me right now.
All right, bro. That's easy, bro. That's easy. All right, look, I got my class. We locked in. All right, Kyle, just love, bro. All right, let's go. All right.
Yo, could you ask Ray J if he's still on the Free Diddy campaign?
Yeah, are you on the Free Diddy campaign?
Yo, beyond that, I think that they just emailed me. I don't know if it's a spoof, but they emailed me the pre-party. You know how OKC in Indiana, like whoever wins, they already prepared to win. So they sent me the pre-party for when he wins next week, and so it's +1. So I'm trying to see who's gonna go with me, but don't
wait.
I'm going by myself unless Act. You want to go with me?
Wait, hold on. Is this a party or a party?
It's the pre-party, the celebration of Diddy being free. Because come on, like sex trafficking, bro. Everybody got to go home, bro. In sex trafficking, you don't get to go home.
Hold up, son. What you mean?
And you like locked into a room, bro. Everybody got to go home.
That sound like he want to go to the party. The party.
And then tell the nigga he doing something, bro. Niggas came back.
The pre-party. Yo,
it's a celebration, bro. And so I got +1 if you want to pull up. I don't know if it's like his official one.
Wait. Hold on. How did you get cool back with the Suns? Because I heard the Suns was trying to jump you.
Yeah, I know, man, and they should. When you like, no, Wack about to jump in the pool. But look, listen,
Wack is one.
Wack about to jump in the pool. Yo, Wack about to jump in. Hey, Wack about to jump in the pool, bro. I'm on my Twitch. Hey, Wack about to jump in the pool. Oh, he did it!
Yo, is Ray J live? Yo, Ray J, you live? Hold on, I gotta see you live.
What's the question, Ravens fans? Ravens fans got a question. What's the question?
Yo, get this nigga Wack a towel, bro. Wack fucking did it, nigga. Yo, but any son should do that. I'm looking at him right now, and if a nigga ever tried to like do anything to my dad, and I didn't know what was up, I would go. So yeah, he did, and then we worked it out.
Wait.
Wack just jumped in the pool. AK, this shit going crazy on my
Twitch.
Oh, you're not
watching
still
did his job. I think still did his job. Still did his job with Young Thug.
Yo, get this nigga Wack a towel.
Kick the prosecutor's ass in this round here.
Yo,
shoes and socks and everything. Live on Twitch. RB gonna tell me if I love her, I jump in the pool with all my clothes on.
Nah, I'm watching it right now.
You know what I'm saying? Hey, listen, we having fun all summer, all these gang bang niggas, all you real niggas stay the fuck away from me. We having fun all summer.
Hey, I ain't gonna lie to you. Yo, Wack, I don't know if you told him to get on Twitch, but that was the biggest move.
Yeah. You needed that viral moment.
Wait, is R&B finna hop in the pool too, or just you?
I think him using still was a problem with Sam. I think he used still had the longest trial in Georgia history, and he ate it for lunch. 4 years on trial, and was smacking the prosecutors all over the courtroom. Then he just came to New York and smacked the best of the best all over the place. All over the place.
She got to put a bonnet on. A bonnet. She need a bonnet.
You ain't got the heart to jump. Yes, I did.
Hey. Regardless of who they use it to for closing arguments, the prosecutors they did enough damage on their own. They really don't. We don't even have to close no more arguments. They did enough damage putting up 30-something witnesses that came up there lying about shit.
Yo, Wack, you can swim? Yo, they told me gangbangers from LA can't swim. That's what they told me.
Man, listen. Leave all that bozo shit away from me this summer. We having fun. The pool's fully closed. Nigga, listen. We having fun. We having finding the love of academic show coming.
Yo, I just gave $50,000 to the Twitch community. 48,000. Check the numbers.
Nah, I'm watching right now.
It's going down. All y'all over there talking about.
I don't know who in closing, but I know you ain't got to do too much more.
Wack swimming in the pool is crazy.
You think I was gonna jump, baby? Huh? I don't play by the queen, boy. Showed up. Yeah, fully dressed. Look, I'm still dripping. Baby, show them the real drip. That's the real drip. Look. That's the real drip. You feel what I'm saying?
Yo, Wack, I never. They told me you don't swim.
Ooh.
They say you too gangster to swim.
Listen, I still hold my nose underwater. I dog pedal, right? That's it.
Nah, this is legendary. Nah, this is legendary.
Hey, yo, listen.
Oh, scary ass gangster, boy. Ain't no sharks in there. Ain't gonna get
Yo, whack. Yo, ask Ray J how much he would put up on a yo, who could tread water longer, me or you? We gotta tread water.
Hold on.
Yeah, I think
hey, you come from that island, bro.
Very
boy.
big win for
I know what y'all call us. Y'all call us Yankee boys.
I don't see
Yo, I don't lie to
you.
Yo, my grandmother never let me go to the river, so I took swimming classes up here. I kid you not. I took swimming classes. I took
jumped in with the shoe. You R&B said if you really love me, you'll jump in the pool fully dressed. I'm in the pool.
Yo, y'all got whack out of character.
What went through your mind when you saw me disappear?
Yo, Whack, you gotta ask her if you didn't come up for air, would she jump in the pool after you?
Baby, if I wouldn't have came up for air, what you would have did? She said she'd have came in. She just got her hair done.
Okay.
Looking
That's
sweet.
Love. That's love right there. You're having a blast.
This is all about. To all you street niggas, listen, leave them bullshit politics in the streets, bro. If you ain't gonna come over here and have fun, stay your ass off this highway, bro. We don't want to hear about how many niggas you killed, shot, how good you can fight. We don't give a fuck about none of that shit at all, bro. We over here having fun. You ain't coming to have fun, stay your ass away from us, bro. That's the fact, Act. That's what we got to start doing. All these super overly tough street niggas, we got to keep them out the business. I'm jumping in for Amber, bro.
Yo, Whack, you can't put back on your shoes after you just jumped in the pool.
Yeah, I still got my shoes on, right? And socks. You know what I'm saying? You know, I wear briefs, so I'm all right there. You know what I'm saying? But get what I'm saying? Heck, I'm tripping like a motherfucker right now. Shit. Oh, look, no, but see, you ain't got no shoes and shit up. Oh, there you go. Ray J about to go. There you go.
Nah, this is some other shit right here. Yo, at least y'all enjoying life, man. I'm glad y'all enjoying life.
Listen, yo, Act. This what it's about, bro. If you ain't enjoying this shit, I'm tired of these niggas. I'm telling you, as a street nigga, I'm tired of these street niggas.
I ain't gonna lie to you. I don't know if you remember when we first ever talked. This is right after the Migos shit and with the Joe Budden shit, like after BT Awards, we talked on the phone. I was like, yo, Whack is too gangster to have any fun in life. And you know, you proved to me? You proved to me that you're way more than what niggas might think as a street nigga or a gangster, because you be having a blast.
Listen, all right, bro. You come from what you come from, bro.
Yo, what's up, man? June 25th, Wednesday, 2025. Thank y'all for coming. Thank you for subscribing. Please share this video with somebody else that you know that's watching the Puffy trial. I've been covering the Puffy trial every day since the case started. Even before that, you can go on my channel. I've done about 60-something videos on this trial. Shout out to all the new subscribers. You can follow me on Instagram at The Podcast with Soul, and also follow me on Spotify at The Podcast with Soul. Overnight, actually this was dated June 24th, 2025. 3 charges have been dropped in the Puff Daddy RICO case in federal court. June 24th, 2025. This is an 8-page letter from the prosecution. Judge Submaranian, the government respectfully writes regarding its requested edits to the court's proposed jury instructions. The government understands the court's desire for streamlined instructions. With that in mind, the government has suggested ways to streamline those instructions. Specifically, the government has removed instructions from the charge relating to attempted kidnapping under both California and New York law, attempted arson under California law, aiding and abetting sex trafficking. The government is no longer planning to proceed on these theories of liability, so instructions are no longer necessary. The government has also attempted to simplify the language relating to count 1, a proposal, as explained in the government's comment bubbles, that the government hopes not only serves the purposes of streamlining the instructions, but will also avoid any confusion as to the operative agreement for count 1. So this is a huge, huge win for Puffy. I have always said that the prosecution was given a weak case from the beginning, and that the prosecution and the prosecution's witnesses that they call to testify on the stand would get on the stand and get annihilated, would get destroyed under cross-examination, would get eviscerated under cross-examination. Reasonable doubt is everywhere, all over this case. However, if you watch other YouTubers and mainstream media, they only focus on the direct examination, where the government comes out and it states their charges and the evidence, no matter how flimsy that evidence may be, no matter how many misrepresentations, lies, or flat out perjury is in that information, the government presents that information under direct examination, where it has usually met with its witnesses. It met with Mia 31 times, Dawn Richard 13 times, Capricorn Clark 13 times, Jane Doe 24 times. So they meet with these witnesses to prep them as to what to say when they get on the stand and how to handle cross-examination. But when the cross-examination comes from Puffy's legal teams, their whole testimony gets dropped, gets taken down, gets destroyed, gets demolished, holes poked in everything, reasonable doubt all over the place in every single witness. The government had not presented one witness that, other than like the Homeland Security agents, and even some of them got destroyed. The government has not presented, the federal prosecutors has not presented one witness that when they got off the stand, you said, they got Puffy on that one. Not one. Every last witness that got on the stand, got cross-examined, when you got off, you said, man, nothing of what she said means anything. Nothing of what he said means anything. Every last one of them. So they go on to talk about the SEX trafficking and forced labor. And, basically in this document, the prosecution is telling the judge that although we are going to relax on the arson, the kidnapping, and the aiding and abetting in the SEX trafficking, we want to still give you instructions on some of the other charges. But to me, this is a sign of weakness. This is a sign of weakness. You get all the way to the day before closing arguments, and you start peeling back and dropping charges against a man that you had on trial for 6 weeks with evidence that you knew was weak. While the government has taken seriously the court's desire for brevity, the government still strongly believes that certain limited additional instructions on SEX trafficking and forced labor instructions, which are regularly given in sex and SEX trafficking and forced labor trials in this circuit, are necessary for the jury to adequately understand the law on these charges. These instructions reflect established case law and are directly relevant to key issues in this case. Moreover, without such instructions, the government has serious concerns that the jury may misunderstand the applicable law for both charges, which are extremely complex legal concepts about which jurors may have preconceived or mistaken notions. The government has listed the precedent for each of these instructions in its comments to the forced labor and sex trafficking sections of the request to charge. To avoid repeating that law and precedent here, government limits the below largely to providing the government's reasons why, based on the particular facts and issues in this trial, these additional instructions are necessary. So in the SEX trafficking and forced labor, earlier consent is not determined. Due to the particular facts of this case, the government believes that it is imperative that the court inform the jury that prior consensual activity is not determinative of whether a victim was SEX trafficked. As this court is well aware, the facts of this case involve instances of trafficking of Jane and Miss Ventura that follow instances of consensual SEX activity, a topic that is likely to be discussed extensively to both parties during the closing arguments. So what they're saying is, throughout this case, throughout the direct examination and throughout the cross-examination, both Cassie and Jane Doe have repeated over and over, verbally on the stand and in text messages and voice notes, that they were down for consensual SEX, that they were with it. They were with the freak-offs. They were with the hotel nights. They wanted to do it. They loved doing it. And what he's saying, what the government is saying, that because that may be true, it doesn't mean that at other points that they weren't trafficked or forced labor or coerced. But this is their case. The same is true for forced labor. The government's forced labor theory focuses on 4 victims, Cassie and Jane, with regard to their participation in freak-offs or hotel nights, and Mia and Capricorn Clark with regard to their employment for the defendant. Similarly to SEX trafficking, Cassie and Jane's prior consensual activities do not preclude a finding that later non-consensual SEX acts are forced labor. Then they cite a case. A victim's initial willingness to perform certain labor does not preclude the possibility that the victim's continued labor may become forced. Nor does the fact that Mia and Capricorn Clark willingly took jobs with the defendant preclude a finding that both at some point were forced to work. Yesterday, during Alexandra Shapiro's motion for Rule 29, she stated that Mia and Capricorn Clark were free to leave and go and work wherever else they wanted to. I think Capricorn Clark went and worked with Madonna at some point, or was that Mia? Like, they both left. Capricorn Clark went to work with 50 Cent. Mia went to work with Madonna. They were free to leave. There was no forced labor. And both of them expressly stated after they left the employ of Puffy that they wanted to come back and work with him more. They did not like what job they were doing, and they wanted to come back and work for him. So this is then they talk about the payments, the fact that Puff is paying Jane Doe's rent of $10,000 a month, that shouldn't bear on the fact that because he's helping her financially, that she is not being trafficked. For SEX trafficking, this instruction is crucial because of the fact pattern underlying Jane's trafficking by the defendant. As Jane testified, the defendant and Jane entered into a multi-year love contract under which the defendant agreed to pay Jane's rent in the amount of $10,000 each month. While that contract was in effect, and in part as a result of the terms of that contract, the government alleges that Jane was trafficked. because jurors may be under the mistaken impression that someone cannot be coerced if they received compensation in return. The government requests that the jury be instructed as to the law that payment alone does not preclude a finding of guilt as to SEX trafficking. Because the forced labor victims also received money or gifts from the defendant, it is important to instruct the jury that payment does not preclude a finding of forced labor in order to prevent confusion. The defendant paid Jane's $10,000 per month rent and similarly paid for Cassie's rent and other expenses. In addition, as employees, Mia and Capricorn Clark were paid salaries by the defendant's company. The juror may not intuitively understand that this payment does not preclude a guilty finding of forced labor. How could Mia, what they're saying is Mia and Capricorn Clark can still be subjected to forced labor even though they're receiving a salary, they have a job description, and the fact that they're receiving a salary, that doesn't negate that there's forced labor. Like they could be receiving their salary working and there's still forced labor. This is the government. Physical restraint. Based on the cross-examination of Jane and Mia, the government respectfully requests that the court briefly instruct the jury that physical restraint is not required to establish SEX trafficking and forced labor. As this court is aware, one of the key instances of trafficking of Jane that the government intends to discuss at length in its closing, and which the government anticipates that the defense will also address in closing, involves the defendant's assault and subsequent freak-off involving Jane in June 2024. During cross-examination about this incident, defense counsel extensively questioned Jane about times that she could have escaped on this date, asking Jane, does the back gate have the capability for you to leave the house? Asking whether she has other family members in Los Angeles. Moreover, during today's Rule 29 motion, defense counsel again argued that Jane could not have been trafficked on this date because she could have left. Because of the defense's lengthy cross-examination on this point and expected arguments at closing, and to avoid confusion, the government requests that a brief instruction be added on this point, making it clear the legal import of this evidence. Similarly, during the cross of Mia and in the Rule 29 argument today, the defense repeatedly argued that Mia could have left her job at any time and is therefore not a forced labor victim. This is incorrect under law, and the instructions needed to correct any misimpression in the jurors' minds that Mia had an affirmative duty to leave. And they go on and talk about the other charges. Let's read one more. SEX trafficking. Defendant need not receive thing of value. The government respectfully requests that the court add a single sentence to its charge on SEX trafficking to clarify that the defendant need not be the person who receives the thing of value from the SEX Act. The government believes that this short instruction is necessary here due to the particular relationship between the parties and the potential that jurors will be influenced by preconceived misconceptions about trafficking that do not comport with the law as it is explained to them. Unanimity. Check this part out. Unanimity. The government objects to the unanimity instructions for the SEX trafficking and Mann Act offenses. The government has been unable to find a single first SEX trafficking and Mann Act case where a unanimity instruction was given, and are concerned that the language as drafted will introduce error into the charge. Accordingly, the government proposes the following language, which is designed to reduce the risk of error and confusion. The intent of these edits, among other things, is to properly characterize what constitutes the relevant instance and to make clear that unanimity is only needed for certain elements, not means. Counts 2 and counts 4, proposed instruction. The government has argued that the defendant committed SEX trafficking with respect to Cassie for count 2 or Jane for count 4 over a years-long period. To find the defendant guilty of these counts, you must be unanimous that the government proved beyond a reasonable doubt all the elements of the charge with respect to at least one specific instance of SEX trafficking within that period. As to that specific instance of SEX trafficking, you must agree that all the elements were met beyond a reasonable doubt. But you need not agree as to the way in which the elements are satisfied or all the details of the instance. Counts 3 and 5, proposed instructions. The government has argued that the defendant violated federal laws regarding to transportation to engage in prostitution with respect to Cassie, among others, for count 3, and with respect to Jane, among others, for count 5, over a years-long period. To find the defendant guilty on these counts, you must be unanimous that the government proved beyond a reasonable doubt all the elements of the charge with respect to at least one specific instance of transportation to engage in prostitution within that period. So the government conceded 3 charges, but they are reaffirming how they feel about the other charges, and we'll see. We go to court later on today at 2:00. They're going to discuss this, and I'll have a report for you then. Peace.
You ready? Let's go. Growth is not coming.
Okay. So y'all can see what's going on here. It's just they're still trying to fry the man. Everything they had that they thought they had, they ain't have it. They ain't had that shit at all. They was close. No cigar, no bananas, no cheese, no mayo, no nuts. Now they like, but the other charges though, what about the other? It was, oh man, y'all done brought 50, 11 motherfuckers in court trying to figure out why we can't find this man guilty because y'all lying and y'all bringing up all these bullshit charges that shouldn't have been here in the first place. But you know, who the fuck am I? I'm just, your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man. Yeah, man. Y'all figure that shit out, man. With that said, thanks for your support, all that good shit. Don't forget to subscribe to the Monster Mafia. Tap in, hit the bell, the notifications, all that good shit, like, share, and all that good stuff. Holla, bang.